Looking at our world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central Podcast, making theology central.
Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, August the 10th, 2023. It is currently 8:38 p.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from the Theology Central studio, located right here in Abilene, Texas. I want you to think about the greatest time in your life. I want you to think about how great it was, what made it so great, the greatest experience. Was there a period in your life you're like, that was the greatest period in my life. Everything was perfect. Maybe you were 16, maybe you were 17, you were still in high school, maybe high school was going great. Maybe you had a great girlfriend, boyfriend. Maybe you had a job. Maybe you didn't even have to work, and you had money. You had a car. You had your license. You had a little sense of freedom. Maybe you were popular. Maybe everything was going great. Maybe it was college. Maybe it was your freshman year or sophomore year, or maybe when you first got married, or maybe when you had your first child, or when you bought your first home, or maybe it's a specific vacation you went on and you're like, this is the greatest moment in my life. This is great. This is like, it's so wonderful. It's like paradise on earth. It's like the greatest thing you have ever experienced. Come on. Can you pick something where you just like, man, that was just an amazing, everything was perfect. And even if you say, well, my life has been very difficult and hard, and it's been filled with pain and sorrow and tragedy, I can definitely relate. But even most of the time, not always, but I think the majority of the time, even for people who have suffered horrible situations, there is at least sometimes some specific things where you remember how great that was. I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about this. Did it last? And I think we all know the answer. It didn't. It went away. Things changed. Tragedy struck. Whatever happened. But it did not last. That's why sometimes, as the famous song goes, people sit around telling boring stories of their glory days. They're trying to recapture the glory of the past. They're trying to recapture that time in their life that it was so, it was everything. I mean, maybe it will never be that again. And some people have a hard time looking forward because they keep looking back, but it disappeared. It's gone. That's why some people, they get into middle age and they have a midlife crisis because they're trying to recapture what they feel they're losing, and I don't think they can ever get it back. I want you to just think about that. And I want you to think about that in light of a very, very horrible situation that is currently underway. A situation that I have been following in the news. And I was literally doing something else, and I saw a news notification on one of my podcast apps. And as soon as I saw the title, I was like, oh no, it's gone from bad to worse. So I stopped what I was doing, listened to it, and I'm like, wow, that's horrible. That's tragic. But in this tragedy, we are reminded of something. So I'm going to play for you the audio that I just heard a little while ago. And, you can obviously first you'll be, if you're not informed, if you don't know that this is currently happening, well, one, when you hear this, you can obviously pray for the people who are being impacted and for everything that's going on. So you can definitely pray, but you can also think about this in light of kind of what I just offered up. All right. Are you ready? Here we go. I heard this just a little while ago.
This is a CNN breaking news alert for Thursday, August 10th, 2023 at 7:56 p.m. Eastern Time. At least 53 people have now been killed by the Lahaina fire, Maui County said in a statement today. There's widespread devastation, and residents described having to flee with little notice as the fast-moving flames incinerated homes and businesses. For more on this developing story and others, listen to the next edition of CNN 5 Things at 10 p.m. Eastern Time.
Have you been keeping up with the devastation and the destruction that is occurring on Maui? Now, if you're not familiar with Maui, if you don't know, the island of Maui is the second largest of the islands of the state of Hawaii. It is the island of Maui is the second largest of the islands of the state of Hawaii. People go to Hawaii, people go to Maui because it's like paradise on earth. People spend lots of money to go there and to experience, in a sense, paradise, even if only for a moment, even if only for a vacation. Obviously, some people live there. They've grown up there. It's like they've just grown up in paradise. Well, if you've been watching and keeping up with the devastation there, paradise, not only is it on fire, paradise has completely burned down. It has been devastated. It has been destroyed. And now we have 53 people, I believe is the latest number, 53 human beings who have died. And they died right there in paradise. Paradise all around them. And then the next thing you know, it was on fire. It was flames everywhere. The videos that I have seen, the aerial footage, the drone footage, it is utterly sickening. It is disturbing, and it's painful to see. And we should be praying for everyone impacted there, hoping that they can get aid, that the people who can be, evacuated can be evacuated. Anyone that needs to be rescued will be rescued. And of course, hopefully over time, pieces of their life can be rebuilt. And that hopefully many lives will be saved, and hopefully no more lives will be lost. 53 human beings have died in the wildfire that is going on the island of Maui. It's a devastating situation. But the more I see it, I just keep saying to myself, paradise is on fire. Paradise is burning down. And it just reminds me, no matter how good anything is on this earth, any paradise on this earth is temporary. Anything on earth, it is temporary. We can grab onto it. We can try to hold on to it, but it's like sand through our fingertips. It's like trying to hold on to water. It's like going to the ocean. Oh, look how beautiful this ocean is. Look how amazing it is. And you put your hands in it and you lift it up and the water you cannot grab onto it. You cannot cling to it. You can go to, the land that you think is paradise, and you can put your hands down in the soil, but it's hard to grab onto it and to hold on to it. Everything in this earth is temporary. Your health, temporary. Your good looks, temporary. Your physical strength, temporary. Whatever, everything is temporal around us. It's not everlasting. It's temporal, and it's there, and then it is gone. No matter how much we want to hold on to it, no matter how much we feel that it's going to last forever. I know there's times in our lives where we think, this is so great. And we feel like it's just going to be forever. But then we turn around and it's gone, and we don't go, what happened to it? Where did it go? These people were literally in paradise, and now paradise has burned down. So I just want to offer some devotional thoughts here that I was thinking about. And at least two scriptures came to my mind. The first one is in 2 Peter. The first one is in 2 Peter chapter 3. You probably know which scripture that I'm thinking about. Just when I saw the fire and I saw the devastation, it just made me think, that's paradise on earth, and look at it. It's gone. It's just gone. So I started thinking about this. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. The heavens and the earth, as we see them, they're being reserved, but they're being reserved for fire. They too, everything around us one day is going to burn up. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, but as some men count slackness, but his long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we accord to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Everything around us is going to burn up, no matter how great life is on this earth. No matter how wonderful life is on this earth, it is temporary. Everything around us is temporal. None of it is eternal. None of it will last. It will fade. It will corrupt. It will disintegrate. It's going to ultimately burn up. If tragedy doesn't strike and take it from you today, it will ultimately take it from you, period. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. It's going to go. Loved ones will pass away. Family, friends, material things will break and will go away. Tragedy can take it away from you in moments. It can be a flood. It can be a hurricane. It can be a tornado. It can be a wildfire. It can be someone could break in and take it from you. Paradise on this earth is temporal. It is temporary. And I know sometimes we forget that. We want to get more of this earth. We want more. We want to grab onto it, hold on to it. But it's all going to be gone one day. And I would just challenge you, go look at the devastating footage of the wildfires in Maui. That's paradise on earth, some may call it. Look at it today. It's horrifying. 53 people have died because paradise on earth was never meant to last. See, loving the world, you're loving that which is temporal. You're loving that which will not last. We need to love something that is eternal. We need to seek something that is eternal. We need to cling to that which is internal, because everything here that we may give ourselves to, our focus to, our time to build, to love, to take pride in, it's going to go away. It may not go away today. It may not go away tomorrow, but scriptures make it abundantly clear that whatever you save on this earth, no matter how big the kingdom you can build, no matter how big the building may be, no matter how many different places have your name on it, no matter how great you think it may be, no matter how many generations you want to leave it for, it's all coming down. It's all going to be burned up. Everything here is reserved to the day of destruction, where it will be burned up. Let me read that same passage and a different translation. And speaking of that podcast episode that we just listened to, that CNN breaking news, you should subscribe to it. Anytime there's breaking news, they will drop an episode. But they told you to listen to CNN 5 Things. That episode just dropped. and they're going to talk about the fires in Maui. So you can also subscribe to CNN 5 Things, and you'll get an update on the fires in Maui. I just got a notification on my iPad of that podcast episode just dropping. But let's read from 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. All right, here we go. I'm going to go back to verse 6, 2 Peter 3:6, from a different translation. Through these, the world of that time perished when it was flooded. Verse 7. By the same word, the present heavens and earth are stored up for fire, being kept for the day of judgment and destruction of the ungodly. Dear friends, don't overlook this one fact. With the Lord, one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years like one day. The Lord does not delay his promise, as some understand delay, but is patient with you, not wanting any to perish, but all to come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. On that day, the heavens will pass away with a loud noise. The elements will burn and be dissolved, and the earth and the works on it will be disclosed. Since all these things are to be dissolved in this way, it is clear what sort of people you should be in holy conduct and godliness. As you wait for the day of God and hasten its coming, because of that day, the heavens will be dissolved with fire and the elements will melt with heat. But based on his promises, we wait for new heavens and a new earth where righteousness dwells. Everything around you is going to burn up. So pursue godliness, pursue righteousness, and look not to this earth, but look to the new heavens and the new earth. Paradise on this earth is temporal. Another scripture that I thought of as I've been keeping up with the fires in Maui. It's Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Lay up not for yourselves treasure upon earth, where moth and rust does corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Now, you could add a whole lot of things there. Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon earth, where tragedy can strike. They can be destroyed. They can be flooded, torn down, blown away, or they could burn up. But lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust are corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Where is your treasure? That will determine where your heart is. So as I look at the fires in Maui, I'm reminded that paradise on earth is temporal, and that I should store up not treasures on this earth, but store up treasures in heaven. Don't know if you can hear that in the background. We have storms in the local area. Now, I don't know if you remember, it was just a couple of months ago that we had a horrible storm come through this area, right? A hailstorm. And my roof had to be completely replaced. Back porch had to be repaired. We still haven't got the fence repaired. We've got the insurance took care of everything there, but the way it all worked, we're going to have to fix the fence. We still got missing parts from the fence we have to repair. But yeah, and the car, hail damage to the car. Like it was crazy. And it could have been much, much worse. It could have been much worse. We could have been much worse. The very church that you hear me preach in years ago, I'll never forget. I was bivocational pastor forever. I was in the military, and I was at the, I don't know what you call it. It's the enlisted club. I guess it was the enlisted club / officers club. I don't know which one we were in. We were there for something, some kind of training. And then we got to eat there. And so we're standing there eating. And where we're eating, there's this just giant windows, right? And we could see outside. And they had a big television, right? And all of the television just talk about severe storms, possible tornadic activity, horror, and all these horrible things. I'm watching the weather. I'm like, this is absolutely crazy. It's insane. And I think at some point we left the club and we went back to the hospital. And I don't know at what point, maybe when I got home, I got a phone call saying, hey, you need to come to the church and you need to get to the, as soon as you can. So I drive up to the church. I walk into the sanctuary. I look up and there's no roof. The roof of our church was completely torn off. No insurance. No, nothing. We just now, the roof is gone. We have no roof in our church building. It's completely gone. And so that started the very slow, painful process, 2 years, I believe, of trying to put it all back together and to try to make it not just to repair it, but to make it better. And 2 years, we never took out a loan. We just slowly but surely, if we had money, we worked. If we didn't have money, we didn't. That's what we did. And it was now it was funny because a lot of times we were getting I would get in, because a lot of times in the mail, I would get in these little things from the mail, from other churches. Help us build our new fellowship hall. Help us build a new classroom for the youth. And sometimes what I wanted to do is people were sending us money for their building project or sending us their request for money for their building project. Sometimes I wanted to send them back a picture of my sanctuary without a roof, and we had to meet in community centers and wherever. It was just a horrible situation. But once again, it just shows tragedy can make it all go away. Can make it all go away just like that. It can be your home, can be your roof, it can be your church. Everything on earth is triple. Lay not your treasure. Don't lay up treasures here on earth because they can be taken from you in an instant. Lay them up in heaven. Seek those things which are above. Where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. Now, sadly, not only are the material things in this life temporal, not only is the beauty of an island can be burned up. The buildings can be burned up. The homes can be burned up. A church building can be destroyed. All a car, possessions, whatever it is, all those material things, we know that they can be gone tomorrow. They can just be gone. But we also have to remember our lives can be gone just like that. 53 people went to bed, ready for the next day. Maybe they were ready to go to the beach. Maybe they were going to do, who knows what they were going to do on Maui. They were living in paradise. And they woke up the next day and their life ended. One day here, tomorrow they were gone. And you know what? That could be me tomorrow. The thunder rumbling in the background. Tornado could happen, come through here. Not only take away the house, could take me. I could be gone just like a lightning strike right now could come through and take me out right here in this second floor room where the studio is located. Could be gone just like that. I could just drop dead of a heart attack. Could have a seizure and be dead. I could be gone within an hour. I could be gone. Who knows? We don't know. We have no idea when it's going to happen. But sooner or later, you and I were going to cross over from this earthly material existence that is temporal. We're going to enter into eternity. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now, if Christ comes back, okay. But if Christ doesn't come back, it's going to happen. Maybe 24 hours from now, maybe 48 hours from now, maybe 72, maybe a week, maybe a month, maybe 1 year, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. And I have forever been almost scarred in some ways to that reality because losing my mother, when I was young, had a massive, my mom was there and then gone. Just like that, unexpected, gone. My father passed away of cancer, gone. I've lived more of my life without a mom than I ever did with a mom. Because there's no guarantee. No guarantee. People who are young, people who are middle-aged, people who are old. Death is coming for all of us. The end is coming. What's on the other side is eternal. It's so easy for us to let the temporal blind us from the eternal. And it's even harder to see the eternal when the temporal is paradise. When things are good, it's hard to see the eternal because it's so good now. When everything is perfect now, it's hard to see the eternal later. But the fires in Maui should be a reminder that no matter how good the now is, no matter how beautiful it is, no matter how wonderful it is, it's temporal. It's all going to burn up. Please pray for the people on Maui. Pray that people can be evacuated. Pray for those who have been injured. Pray for those who have lost loved ones. Obviously, if there's a Red Cross and other agencies that will need financial support to help to bring aid and help to those people, there may be other agencies that will be there. They may need financial support to be able to bring help to those people. And if you know of good, solid agencies that are trustworthy, that you know are verified that the money goes to whatever they're going to be doing to try to help people in Maui, then by all means, support it. If your church has connections there and they can support maybe a church in Maui financially, so those churches can provide immediate aid to people there on the ground and financial support, whatever. Obviously, we look to see what we can do for the people in Maui. But in this tragedy, let's not forget the very, very powerful spiritual lessons right there. Thanks for listening. Everyone have a great night. God bless.